dear colleagues, friends, all those who are participating in our third Northern Sustainable Development Forum, and we're starting the presentation of our projects. My name is Daryana Maksimova. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the Northern Forum. And before we start, I will explain you what it is all about. Back in 2019, when we launched this forum, we started with the idea that the forum that you are experiencing for this 3 days, this forum should bring us something very real, some action and some projects. We didn't want to simply talk. We wanted to see some projects, both existing and planned. And in 2019, we held our first project presentation, but last year, due to pandemic, we had to omit that activity. But this third year, I think it's a good idea to renew the presentation of projects, because it's going to be a very exciting one. Indeed, the active phase of preparation started in July, and over that period we had a lot of candidates and a lot of people who asked, what is project presentation? So you who are here today, the most active people who actually bothered and found that option in the list of our program events, and that's actually the idea behind it. We want to have here very active people who are interested in this themselves, and it is nice that it is working, that we have so many participants, and you bring us very concrete, tangible projects. We are gathering all these projects, and we are planning to promote these projects. Upon your permission, please keep in touch, and we'll work further to implement, bring these projects to life. Unlike at one of the other events that I moderated, one of the experts said, I'm afraid that I will turn off my computer now and we will forget about each other. So please, let's also keep in touch after the event is finished. Today, we have quite an intense program, and I would like to start with our priority project. Priority project of the Northern Forum that joined our family in April of 2021. The project is implemented by the Arctic State Institute of Culture and Arts. It's and also the magazine Arts and Culture in the Arctic. And Sargulana Ignatieva will be presenting it. Please present your project of the magazine. Hello, Daryana. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you. First of all, allow me to greet you on behalf of the students and postgraduate students and all the faculty of the northernmost creative and arts educational institution of Russia, and we congratulate you on the anniversary of the Northern Forum, and it's really an honor to have this opportunity to speak and to take part in the work of the forum and tell you about our future projects, such as the magazine that I will present today. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay now. First of all, thank you for allowing us to speak here today, and this magazine, Culture and Arts of the Arctic. I thank Mr. Vladimir Vasilyev, the executive director of the forum, for understanding this idea of the magazine as a strategic platform to discuss issues of culture and arts. Our institute became kind of a stepping stone, a hub for developing cultures of indigenous peoples. So it's at the same time, it's at the forefront of forming a new cultural environment in the Arctic. In the UArctic network, our institute, AGIKI, is representing the entire Russia in terms of culture and arts. And we've been holding a lot of events, and we're planning to hold more events during the chairmanship of Russia in the Arctic Council. I hope you can hear me and see me. So the idea of publishing a scientific and popular magazine or journal came to us a few years ago, and all of the issues of the magazines are very enjoy interests of the academia and artistic circles. What we're trying to do is to raise awareness, to bring the arts and cultures into the focus. And modern Arctic is open to many social innovations, and we have a lot of best practices. The editor of the journal is Nadezhda Kharlampieva from St. Petersburg State University, and AGIKI is in close cooperation with that university. This year, our journal received the patronage of the Northern Forum. So what directions we are trying to embrace as the Institute? The evolution of values, self-identification of the indigenous peoples of the North and the Arctic, circumpolar civilizations, games of the Arctic peoples, sports of the Arctic peoples, nature-related tourism, and translation from indigenous languages to Russian and English languages. And we've seen a lot of interest towards Arctic studies and subjects from the St. Petersburg State University, especially the translation aspects were interesting for them, and we organized a round table in St. Petersburg State University where we discussed the concept of the journal. It was attended by the faculty of these two institutions and also our partners from other universities. So the materials and articles are unique. It's very authentic. We've so far published 3 issues with very active participation of our colleagues from Finland, Norway, Sweden, other regions of Russia, leading Arctic scholars, art scholars, cultural experts. And the main inspiration of this project was the head of the Republic back then in 2014, Yegor Borisov. He supported us, and we launched the International Center for Arctic Culture at our Institute of Culture and Arts. In our development program, we have included our journal as one of the promising projects for strategic development. And in future, under the aegis of the Northern Forum, we see a bright future for our journal. It should join the citing index database of Russia, and hopefully it will also join Web of Science and Scopus databases. So it's an ambitious project, a large-scale one, but we want to provide a robust platform for not only for scientists, but also for cultural and arts activists in the Arctic. So we hope this will be a good place to exchange and share ideas. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sergelana. This project was approved by the General Assembly of the Northern Forum. And on our behalf, we would like to add that yes, please do join us. You now have a place where to publish your materials. Let's just all come together and enhance this intercultural communication using this project and journal as well. Thank you, Sergelana. The next speaker will be Irina Rybukhina, the assistant to the governor, to the representation of Chukotka in Moscow.
Good afternoon, dear friends. I would like to thank all of you for inviting me to participate in this panel and participate in the Northern Forum. I believe me that for presenting our project, we're usually very picky and we came to this platform with enthusiastically, and I will tell you why. Our festival is called Bering Strait, and you could think that it's a sport, but it's not only about sport, but it's all of us. It's about all of us. It's culture, about people and stuff. Chukcha, Chukcha, if you translate it as a real person. So it's a festival for powerful people with so you can see on the in the title that you can see that the emblem of the Arctic Council, and we are honored to be part of the Arctic Council that was given to our territory and to our organizing committee as well. So what is the festival about? So if you go from Moscow to New York, especially during our times, I think it will take 24 hours. But if you fly from our settlement in Chukotka, and you want to go to Wales in the United States, it will take only 40 minutes by plane. And we say that they are our relatives, and our relatives would go this distance in few hours, and they would go and see each other and visit each other quite frequently. So when two of land they were separated by strait that was named after Bering, they should meet one time in future. And of course, nowadays it is quite difficult politically and epidemiologically. So the project is one of the tasks of the project is to support the people's diplomacy, and we think that it will become a starting point for the global Arctic collaboration. And we are not talking about the tourists. We are talking about the great travelers and travelers that usually come to the far sighted lands. And I took part in Iditarod in Alaska, and it's a very great event for the races and from European countries and from other countries, and it's I can say that the accession to Kilimanjaro and the marathon in this northern pole and all these points are the points of attracting great travelers, and I think that our festival will become an attracting point for all the travelers as well. So the concept of our festival is the following. I also already said that it's not only about sport. We think that it will consist of several parts, and they will be independently powerful parts. And well, our guest will be the passengers of the cruise liners, and there will be cruises on the territory of the Chukotsky Autonomous Okrug, and this will take up us to work with the with the bordering authorities of the Russian Federation, and the main part of the project is the Beringian Games, and it is the summit of the indigenous peoples of the Arctic, and they come and compete in sports, in different kinds of sports. So we have already presented during the youth project, youth platform here, and we would like to invite youth from the Sakhalin Republic here to participate. And of course, we can speak about different tools of participating. And of course, we will change we will change the notion about the Arctic peoples into the chess peoples, so that people from all over the world would come and enjoy our dances and culture and sports, and probably it will become more much bigger project in the future. So Beringian Games. So the main role plays. So we have already. So there is a race that is called Beringia, and it is the only race that is remained in Russia, and they compete using the boats that are made in traditional way. They are made of skin of walruses, and this kind of tradition is already. I mean, Alaskan and Canadian peoples have already lost this kind of tradition, and only in Chukotka they preserve this tradition, and we will try to revive this tradition again, and we don't want to deprive our Chukchis and Eskimos, sea hunters, we would like them to visit their relatives in Alaska without visa, and they should be visa-free peoples, and there will be national teams. They will come together, and probably they will go to Wales and visit their relatives as well. So we understand that this project should have some commercial component, and of course it should be monetized, and one of the monetizing method is we think that it will be a new tourist product, Eurasian America, and they will take part sportsmen, professional sportsmen, and they will of course come with their own boats and professional boats, and in a few days time we will launch our website, and the professional sportsmen will be interested, and they will send their portfolio and their applications to the site, because they should be actually professionals, not amateur sportsmen, because it is quite difficult distance to cover. So I have already mentioned that we suppose that we will have cruise ships, and we also have this unique opportunity to develop this North Passage, and probably we will. We will have. So we'll have the sail ships coming, and we have already received Nadezhda and Pallada ships, and you can imagine how it is to have Russian sail ships will come, and if we take into partnership with Rosatom and Rosgidro and other companies like that, and this will help us to say that we are present in the Arctic, and we will preserve these territories. So this is how it is going to happen. You fly into another, and then logistics have already been developed, and there is settlement Lorina, and they'll receive all the boats and ships and stuff, and then we will go to the Dizhnyov and where to the settlement Welen, and there from Welen we will start our expedition. So I would like to pay your attention, draw your attention to the cultural summit of the youth of the indigenous peoples of the Arctic, those who just want to get acquainted with this huge plast of the traditional heritage of cultures of the peoples of the Russian Federation. So it is a great platform to present our project, and I do have a very wonderful connection with Yakutsk, and probably you remember that we helped to build the ships of the historical ships of Semyon Dezhnev, and we spent winter in Tiksi, and we actually repeated the route of the Semyon Dezhnev, and it was wonderful. It was a great, and it would be really nice to come back to these lands with new wonderful project, and I invite everybody to participate in the project. Thank you. Thank you very much, Irina Yurievna, and it is a very wonderful project, and it is really beautifully organized and beautifully, and it is thought through very well. So we witnessed the interest, and we will say to our governor, and I think that your president will get to know this, and it is we have to say the world who we are, and the problem of traditional identification so the driving force of the peoples of the Russian Federation, and this all led to your office of Northern Foreign, and we will do it together. We will work together. So Irina Yurievna has to go, and we are going to have the presentation of the film, and in this regard, it would be interesting to hear Yuri Targashin, the vice director of the international technologies and of Khanty-Mansi region, Ukraine.
Hello, dear Daria and other colleagues. I was supposed to speak later, but anyway, I will now speak about IT reindeer herding camp, or it was, as it was called earlier, internet there where it has never has been. We have to bridge the digital gap between cities, civilization, and places where indigenous peoples live. I hope you can hear and see me well. I would like to say that although we have a very large territory in our autonomous district, we only have 5,000 indigenous residents, and we have to provide them Can you see my presentation? Yes. And the traditional land use area is 23.7% of our entire territory, inhabited by about 5,000 people who belong to indigenous nations. And the thing I mentioned, the digital gap. Digital disparity we realize that these disparities exist, especially in the reindeer herding camps and in other territories of traditional land use. And our mission is to provide internet to those territories. At first glance, it looks like a simple task because we have those satellites installations, but at the same time we have some limitations. First of all, it's the social aspect and geographical location of these camps, their scatteredness, distribution around the territory. We have 675 families and about 3,000 people who live in traditional land use territories. Installed these 49 access points, and the project was implemented by sponsors through a non-governmental organization, and technically we were the operators, and we signed direct agreements through this NGO. So what is the technological pattern? Of course, the first thing you think about is satellite. It's a very robust scheme. It can be done in any northern territory. So when we installed the first installation, we found out that operational characteristics and costs are quite expensive. It's about 18,000 per year, and 190,000 per year, and that's when we started thinking about mobile communication It's almost the same setup, but this notebook was included into this setup. And in this mode, the price makes only 1,000. So it gives you 400, 500,000 rubles per one setup. So what are the results? The project allowed local indigenous people to use internet without leaving their camps, and it allowed access to public internet services. In 2020, we launched the first in-camp preschool facility while living their traditional lifestyle. We have 4 online courses for children from 3 to 7. Right now there are 18 children in this program, although it's not a lot, but we're just starting. Especially, it was very, it became crucial during pandemic. The same thing with healthcare. We have a special project, the telemedicine of Yugra. There are 31 households where first aid can be provided before medical staff arrives to the place. We also have 23 mobile medical brigades and 6 crews of medical aviation. Again, these are the services that require internet access. Then goes the social welfare. Over 3 years, we provided indigenous peoples with such services, and we've processed 203 applications for social welfare. Another aspect for using internet is employment. They can search for jobs, receive consultancy, register as an unemployed, or register other social statuses. All these services available at public services portals. So all of this is now available to the population in the traditional land use areas. So that's it for my presentation, and I would like to add that this solution is quite simple, but at the same time it took us 3 years to implement it. We tried to start it in 2015 and then 17 using satellite terminals for remote communities. But the project didn't work out as we expected because families don't have that much money to spend. They cannot afford themselves to spend 15 to 20,000 rubles per month for internet. So having modified the technical part of it, the administrative part of it, we finally managed to find a viable solution. After we have organized the Save Yugra NGO, as I mentioned. So we tried several options, and we finally found the best solution. And this year we're planning to start servicing of these equipment units. We've provided about 2 million rubles for this services. It's not big money, but with this money you can support well-being and life support. So this required some sponsor funding, and we hope we will continue enjoying support of sponsors. In the first stage, when you get internet, you start using it as a baby, that's understood, but now the population has already grown out of this stage. And now we see more internet used for communication, for using public services, and I think this will evolve. And probably they will also use internet to develop their language, traditions, heritage. I think this time is coming very soon. So in this sense, we are planning to publish an e-dictionary of Khanty language, and then Mansi language, and so on. And we hope we'll always have support for that, and also that local indigenous communities will be excited and interested in using it. In fact, Yuri Targashin was supposed to come to Yakutsk, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But anyway, we were happy to see your project presentation. We still hope we'll see you here someday. And Khanty-Mansi Autonomous District is our big friend, and we're always open for cooperation. I've heard about this project, and I've been to Khanty-Mansi this summer. This project is really big there, and I hope it will become international at some point. It can be upscaled. And anyway, we'll always support such initiatives. To continue this topic, it will be interesting to thank you, Yuri. So could be the previous project, Bering Strait, the kayak races. And you, Yuri, you have other kinds of races, and probably you should unite this. Yes, your Department of Sports told me about this big festival of indigenous peoples. So Chukotka and Khanty-Mansi regions are parts of Northern Forum, so please support, promote these projects. We have to network, interact, maybe combine our efforts.
Юрий Ильич, за ваше...
Извините, можно еще два слова буквально, ну, завершить как бы.
Just 2 words to conclude. I would love to thank your platform and support what you have just suggested about diversifying forms of cooperation, because we can find many points where we share something, and standing together we can stand stronger, and we can keep to our roots and help each other to keep to our roots with help of new technologies. Thank you. Thank you, Yuri. I totally agree with you. Let's work together. Keep in touch. Next project. Next project also has to do with indigenous peoples. They are here in our studio. We'll have small performance here. It's the project Kındıkan. It's a creative group, Kındıkan, Anna Mironova Fominova.
So Kapyrina Ksenia, Project Kındıkan. Can I have the slides, please?
Всех приветствую, участников.
I greet everyone, every participant of the Northern Forum, and while we are getting ready technically, I think that we would I'd like to invite Christina to present her dance, Kındıkan. Yay, она будет танцевать.
Кристина, вот посмотри.
Никто мне не нужен, без тебя падаю, как гамета. Тебя в этом танце кружит, будто ты унесенная ветром. Ты как водопад, я всюду искал тебя. Ведь ты прекрасна, как весна, и я готов утопать в тебе, а ты танцуй до меня.
Спасибо, Кристина.
Thank you very much, Christina. So now I'm waiting for the slides to be put on.
Всем еще раз здравствуйте.
So again, hello everybody. My name is Ksenia Gapyrina. I am a project manager of the project Kandekan, and it's an artistic unit about the story of one beautiful young girl who survived in the northern part of Yakutia. She was found by hunters next to the somewhere in the mountains of Verkhoyansky region. And it's the project about the connection between the people and the nature. It's an image of a girl who can save the history, the culture, and peoples of the northern parts of the world as a whole. So today it is, team is an artistic unit of that comprises very interesting people, artistic people who have the only goal to save the Arctic and the North. And the team follows the ideas of, and they're developing this image, and they want to develop it and to make it a worldwide known figure, and to in order to attract the attention of the peoples of the world to the problems of the Arctic regions. The mission of the Kandekan project is to unite all the efforts and gives opportunity to all people, that all the people who reside in the Arctic region, so that they could be heard by through this personage, through this image, and this image. It will be. She will become one of the princesses of the Disney, just like Pocahontas and Mulan. So the tasks of this project is to create the fairy tale about Kundi Khan, and we have already have it printed on a hard copy, and we will have an electronic soft copy as well as the audio book. The next task is to create the teaser and then to make this animation history of Kundi Khan. And the third is to organizing, implementing, doing different kinds of projects, artistic projects, and its expedition and different. And the fourth is the endowment fund creation, so that all the funds will be to accumulate the funds for the people's needs in the northern areas. So we have already done the expedition to the Tamponsky region, and where we digitized one of the traditional songs of Ivan people, and Aytaluran did the digitization of this song. Also, we made a video by Varlamov, and where we speak about this mission of the worldwide scale, and the author of this Kundi Khan image, Margarita Popova. In the framework of this project, we also have sub-projects like this one, which is called photo project, where the people who reside in the reindeer herding camps are taken. So also one of the greatest activities is the project Dia Moon, and it is we are planning a touristic mission, which was announced by Yusaku Maezawa, and he announced this competition of among the people who want to go to the touristic flight to the moon, and it was, and he already started the preliminary works, and here in Russia. And in December 2021, they will fly to the moon. So yesterday we gave to Yusaku Maezawa a gift, and the gift is from all the peoples of the Sakha Republic, and it's a kimono for Elon Musk, and two traditional Yakut knives for Yusaku Maezawa and Elon Musk, and other items. These things were made by hands of the traditional way, traditional crafts, and we, of course, we came up with them. We are calling for Elon Musk to observe the balance of the nature, and also in the framework of the project, we created this Kundi Khan song, and it's a hit, and we have also a video clip. So we also have a doll, Kundi Khan, It was made by Kharchana Papagai, and her name is Kandagan, and she is in spacesuit, and we gave this doll to for the Flight to the Moon project. So the fairy tale about Kandagan we presented during the International Children's Day. And nowadays you can actually purchase in the bookstores in Yakutsk. Also, there are paintings. We have 4 paintings on this theme, and we already presented this project on at the University UCLA, and that was 6 in the morning in Yakutsk, and it was online presentation for the for the university in California, and American students were very interested to know about not only the project Kandagan, but also the northern parts of Yakutia as well. And we have a small Miss Russia, Kristina Chirumkina, and she presented her dance, and they presented her dance in Sochi. So there is expedition to the world of reindeer herders, and today Margarita Popova is on this expedition, and she's in the area where there is Lake Labankur, and they put this. They actually installed this satellite connection there. So today we have endowment fund. Also, we have the first token from Yakutia, and the other one is about the song that is translated to many languages of the world, then animation, then the high technologies in Tundra, and jewelry collection of Kandagan, and others. We see that the brand Kandagan is a tool that will help us to preserve the culture of the indigenous peoples, to make this, to observe the balance of the world. And our partners, Alrosa, the Association of the Indigenous Peoples of the North of the Sakha Republic, the Ministry of the Peoples of the North of the Republic of Sakha, and the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs. So what results do we have by now? And we expect the world will pay attention to the problems of the North and the Arctic, and that spans from the culture of the indigenous peoples, and includes also the thawing of the permafrost. Also, there will be a platform of the endowment fund, and the third point is there will be new laws created that will defend the interest of the indigenous peoples of the North. And then the fourth point is about the implementation of social and ecological projects on the territory of the northern regions, and they will etc. So at the end of the ends, we would like to have the united Arctic peoples, and I was very happy to present this project. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This project is becoming more popular with each day, and you can see how the team is. I mean, the people of the team are very creative and modern, and the way you present is very contemporary and modern. And I think that we need to support this project, and that all the regions of the Arctic should support this project, and the aim to preserve the indigenous peoples of the North is, or the culture of the North is actually an issue that is not only, takes attention from the world, from the world organizations as well. And the dance from the Little Miss Russia, and she's so sweet, and you can see her, and she's really wonderful. She's really beautiful, and we have a very good feelings about the project. And please keep in touch. So we have a lot of projects today. So the next project, so I'm going to give the floor Svetoslav Pich. Svetoslav is going to talk about low power nuclear plants. So what about, is he here? Seems that he's not here. Probably they will. So the next project, Eldar Aliyev, the leader of the project about the vehicles in the Arctic regions. Eldar Aliyev, please.
Hello. I hope you can hear and see me. I will show you my presentation. My name is Eldar, and my project is high-speed, eco-friendly ATV. We used new approach to reducing pressure on the ground, on the soil. So let's look back into the history of the segment we're working in. We created light ATVs for 2 passengers. The first four-wheeler ATV was created back in 1970 for Honda company. And you can see the picture of the first four-wheeler. Actually, it was a three-wheeler on low-pressure tires. It was quite a successful model. It conquered the market rapidly. But after several years, the engineers abandoned low-pressure tires, and Northerners understand why. Because they are very fragile. They can easily tear on the rocks in the forest. And in 1980, the ATV acquired the fourth wheel and became this classic four-wheeler, as you can see. And in this modification, they survived to our day. So this concept has a few drawbacks. First of all, it's really large pressure on the soil, which leaves very deep wheel tracks. And you can see this depth you get after 10 or 20 four-wheelers pass. That's why there is a prohibition to use four-wheelers in vulnerable soils. Soon Russia will also introduce such a prohibition. So we wanted to modify this because traditional ATVs have a very complex transmissions, differentials, a lot of drives, which makes the ATV very heavy. Modern models are at least 400 kilos, and it requires complex service and extensive repairs. So what was our solution to this? You can see the concept on the video. We have 18 independent small diameter wheels. Each wheel has their own electric motor with a capacity of 1 kilowatt, and it all is charged by 2 lithium-ion batteries. This gives you very low pressure on the soil, only 0.1 kilos per meter. So the footprint is distributed. Thanks to this, our ATV is quite good on snow, especially wet snow or snow with crust. Also, this ATV is very reliable because we don't have any transmission at all, because each wheel has a direct drive, and there are no such elements as reducers, differentials, etc. Each electric motor is attached to its own independent motor, and they all work using 2 batteries, so you practically cannot break it. For example, you lose a couple of motors. For example, you just lost them. The remaining motors will allow you to safe travel to your where you can repair your ATV. It's very easy to service. It doesn't require any special equipment or high-skilled professionals. So you can replace the small wheel by just unscrewing a couple of nuts, and then that's it. This ATV is very light. A traditional ATV weighs about 400-500 kilos. Ours is only 120 kilos. It's light, and it's also easy to transport, and it's also very safe. If you go into some pits from where you cannot get out, you just take it with your hands, with your friends, and just take it out. And there are no exhausts, no lubricants, no fuels, which makes it quite eco-friendly. Currently, we've come up with this concept that you see, and we're now adjusting it. And here, it's the comparison with the conventional four-wheeler. So this smaller log is already an obstacle for conventional one, while it's not an obstacle for our development. Currently, we've prepared this ATV for sales. In future, we are planning to design cargo versions. Besides, this is quite a cheap solution. Current price, sale price of this concept is only a little bit over 1 million rubles. And we invite all of those who are interested to cooperate. You can either buy our products or participate as an investor, because we plan to scale up. Of course, we will consider any options of becoming a shareholder. Another important thing, besides electric modification, we have a hybrid, because we can provide, upon request, add a gas fuel unit. It's also very light, so we can combine the electric motor and this fuel. Actually, you can carry a lot, you can carry additional fuel on board, so it extends the range of travel. Of course, you will ask me, will it work at low temperatures? Present-day batteries work robustly only at -20. And for lower temperatures, we can add an option of battery heating. And this will allow you to use it up to -60. Of course, given that the batteries will be kept in a warm place somewhere, so you'll have to take them off and put somewhere in the heated premises. And then when you want to go further, you have to install it again. And you have to insulate it. That's it. I'm happy to answer your questions. Do we have any questions? Anyway, this presentation will have a wide audience because we have a live stream at Northern Forum. So maybe you will find investors there, because the recording will stay there forever. And we also want to add special sections for projects. And and everyone who participated in our venues and events. So thank you very much for being this active and enthusiastic, for finding our venue. Thank you. We go to the next speaker, Nurguyana Reshetnikova, the chief of the Children's Reading Center of the National Library.
Hello. So I'm going to put my presentation on. So can you see my screen? Dear participants of the Northern Forum. I am grateful for the organizers for giving this opportunity to tell about our project. So the first international competition, it was for children, and it was organized in the framework of the project of the libraries of the Sakha-Yakutia, which is called We Read. We all read. So the main goals are, so first of all, popularization of children's books about the Arctic regions, and of course we are looking forward for the new creations and to attract the attention of the wide audience to the state of the children's literature. So we have done quite a big work, and we worked from the January to July. We made a list of books, but also, but not only books, but also the plays of the theaters and films and etc. etc. So we can count up to six different kinds of creative works have been revealed and listed. We also found about 80 books in different countries, Canada, USA, and Norway, and Sweden. And so also the creative works were sent by people from Khanty-Mansi, Komi, Sakhalin, Murmansk, and Krasnoyarsky Krai, and others. And so we had 11 nominations, and there were a lot of books, and the books were chosen and in the so in the jury, we had very prominent people from the different fields, and due to this jury, we came up. They chose the best projects for children, and the winners were selected by the voting, and more than 3,500 people voted. And on the 16th of September, we presented our competition, and we concluded our competition, and it was so we came to the conclusion.
Оно вообще не начиналось.
Ой, простите. Так, видно, да, сейчас?
А может, сначала запустите?
Так, сейчас, минуточку.
А или это как слайд у вас?
Да, это идет как слайд, смонтированное видео. Видно, да, все? Пошло?
Пошло.
So it's an international competition of children's books.
Ну вот как раз про Кандакан мы увидели, да?
So the project, the Kandakan, is a really wonderful project.
Давайте тогда мы попробуем запустить.
Да, пожалуйста. И вот мне очень жаль, что они не упомянули, что они стали победителями
So I'm very
лучшее художественное произведение для детей.
The Kundakan actually used to be the winner of the first competition. So I would like to express our gratitude to Saha Energy people. And so they presented the books by Vladimir Sangi. And there was another book that is called Wise Nerpa, and there was another animation that won the first place, and so the Norwegian writer Bjørn Olsen became the winner of the scientific direction, and all this information actually you can find on the site of the National Library. And also I would like to thank especially Lyudmila Chizhova, who is the executive director of the children's books institution and institute, and she was the one to give us advice, and she also sent books to all the participants of this competition, and other things. And also I would like to say thanks to the different institutes from Norway, Finland, and Sweden. So they were the ones to support us as well. In future, we would like to have support from other countries, and we think that the Northern Forum will help us, and we will do all our best to support the development of the children's literature of the North and the Arctic. So the collection of this you will see on the website. Thank you for your attention. So we'll show you the video.
Сейчас, минуточку. Так, отключилась, да?
Да, кажется, да. Включаем. Большое спасибо, Нюргуяна,
Thank you very much, Nurguyana, for your presentation, and
с вами сотрудничать.
we will collaborate with you.
Я думаю, хорошо. Большое спасибо, Нюргаяна.
Thank you very much, Nurguyana. It was Nurguyana Решетникова, the head of the of the department in the so the next just a second, colleagues. I will start my presentation. Can you see my presentation? Yes, and you can turn to full screen mode. Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Varvara Simenova. Dariana introduced me. I'm the coordinator of WWF in Russia. And thank you for this opportunity to speak about our project at the Northern Forum. And my topic today is polar bear patrol in Russian Arctic. First of all, I would like to explain you what the project is about. The project has already turned 15 years since the first brigade of bear patrol was created. It started in a small village of Kerem, Vankarem, as a small project to help a few local communities to solve the problems of polar bears. Unfortunately, there was a tragic incident that initiated this project when a polar bear killed a schoolgirl. It happened by accident, but locals were very scared, and they understood that the global processes occurring to climate were not a legend. They occurred right before their eyes. The ice in summer and autumn recedes, and polar bears cannot hunt, and they just stay on shore. And this incident and this environment provoked the creation of Bear Patrol project. And today this experience is used not only in Chukotka, but also in other Arctic regions, including in other countries. So what are the goals of this patrol? Is to promote peaceful coexistence of humans and bears. First of all, it's to prevent conflicts between humans and polar bears, especially the visits to villages and communities.
And it is important not only to prevent when we're able to prevent, but sometimes there are cases when a bear is already in a community, and then we have to react immediately. Within a few minutes, gather and drive the bear away. The project over 15 years was accumulating different tasks around it. First of all, patrollers are the inhabitants of those communities. They gather information about their behavior, and they help scientists to actually study the problem and the animals themselves. Ecological awareness raising is key in those communities, because especially young people will have to learn to live in a new reality, because we see more and more visits of polar bears and more contacts, and probably it's the new reality we will have to live in. And what's the philosophy of Bear Patrol? It seems that the entire shoreline is inhabited by bears, so maybe the more bear patrols, the better. In fact, it's not true. Bear patrols is only functioning in those districts where there are problems of often contacts. If the visits and the problems are very rare, just like once a year, locals don't perceive it as a problem. But to make the real work, you really need to have some enthusiasm and interest from the local part. It seems at the first glance that now everywhere in the Arctic we have these conflicts with polar bear. It's also not true. Such communities are very few. In such villages, they have 20 to 30 visits per year. That's what we call a problem. So we need to carefully choose communities where we work. And of course, the people who work in the patrol, it's a voluntary work. They don't get paid for it. We support them with equipment, devices, some bear repellents, but the basis of this work is completely voluntary. We cannot just assign people. We have to keep in touch with them, communicate with them. Only then they will feel as a team and will start working efficiently. Currently, the network of bears looks like this. We have 2 brigades in Nenets Autonomous District, 3 brigades in Chukotka. There is also bear patrol in Yakutia. Of course, it's not the full list. We have a lot of networks, and we're monitoring the coastline at all times. So at some points there might be less visits, but more visits in the other communities. So we have to stay mobile. And we are mobile. One of the examples of what a brigade is doing typically in Nenets Autonomous District. There is a village called Amderma. Half of it is abandoned nowadays, but still it has about 150 population, and they get visits from polar bears very often. We launched a brigade there, and we keep in contact with that crew. You see the special backpacks, special cases, emergency cases we call them. You have here individual protection devices, first aid kits, special devices to drive the bears away, and they always carry these with themselves. Sometimes it's hard to inform people that polar bears are actually dangerous, because although everyone knows it's a carnivore, but the reaction can be different. Sometimes people want to take pictures, sometimes they want just to have a closer look, post it on the social networks. So in the majority of cases, people provoke attacks or conflicts themselves. So we do a lot of awareness raising, education. We also install special signs and additional lighting to avoid unexpected encounters. And we monitor such facilities as schools and kindergartens to provide an opportunity to check whether there is a polar bear around before exiting the building. We also have the special announcers all around the community, and if there is a polar bear, we can warn people. There is a siren going off, and people understand that it's time to stay home and be careful. So this is how it works for a community visited by polar bears often. Another example from Chukotka. There are two communities that are visited by polar bears very often, Ryrkaipi and Billings. The crew is always active. These are just local peoples. They have their own lives, but during the periods when polar bears are near communities, these guys are online 24/7 because they expect calls from locals who will call and ask to remove a polar bear. These are crews from two villages. This is how they drive away a polar bear from a school, which is red and yellow building. The Walrus Beach is near that village, and there are a lot of dead animals. Some of them their corpses end up near houses. So the patrol also have to gather these carcasses, dead bodies, and move them to a distance, to a small place in order to not to attract bears into the village. Our crews use all kinds of technical devices that make their life easier. Drones are quite helpful. They help to monitor vast areas, to look for bears, how many there are, where are they. The second questions that I want to focus on is the safety of all communities within polar bear habitat. It's a very big problem, this problem of waste. However good bear patrols work, if a village has waste accessible for animals, that is a problem, and it makes everything and makes everyone's life difficult, and even is hazardous and dangerous. And within this project we are trying to design an optimal solution for storing wastes. We've designed a special container, a bear-proof container, and suitable for the Arctic. So it should be isolated, made of certain materials, should be odor-proof, and should also be comfortable for locals. Local people gave us the idea, which we have to keep in mind. These containers should be unloaded with the equipment already available in the community. So if they have a tractor, a container should be compatible with a tractor, or it should be universal, that could be unloaded either manually or with any available machinery. The one that we have designed is universal. And disposal of waste is another key aspect to avoid conflicts. The best solution would have been not store the waste somewhere at a landfill, but if all the waste was burnt, that would significantly reduce polar bear visits. We didn't have such experience in the Arctic until this year, literally. I think now in Yamal-Nenets district they are testing a pilot installation. So this is one of the ways more suitable for the Arctic. So that's it, and thank you for your attention. Thank you, Varvara. It is a very important project for conservation and for climate change. It is a very real-to-life project, and it enjoys quite high publicity. I think many people already know about it, and thank you for creating this project, and we hope that humans will come up with idea of how to coexist with polar bears. Your organization, as far as I know, WWF Russia, is the most active. You turned 25 recently, right? For Russia, I think it is a priceless organization because you do a lot for conservation of biodiversity. because we have a lot to conserve. Thank you. The next project and presentation. The next presenter is Svetoslav Pich. Are you with us, Svetoslav? From Rosatom State Corporation. I think something's wrong with your sound, Svetoslav.
И не видно, да. Видно только ваше имя.
Алло, слышно? На связи.
Да, слышно.
Хорошо.
Но не видно.
Сейчас, секундочку. Проверка связи опять была. Вот, сейчас. Видно сейчас?
Видно, слышно.
Здравствуйте.
So now we can see you. Hello. Your presentation, please. So I'm going to put the demonstration on.
Вы сами будете презентовать? Да.
Да, буду презентовать сам.
Хорошо.
Так, секундочку, буквально минутку, можно, пожалуйста, чтобы настроить. Алло.
Вас слышно, презентацию видно, ее можно расширить на показ слайдов.
Ага, хорошо.
Все видно, слышно.
Вот, сейчас, вот. Так, буквально секундочку. Просто с интернетом есть проблемы подключения. Вот.
Вот пропало видео. Сейчас опять видно только ваше имя. Ну, мы можем запустить сами вашу презентацию. Она же есть у нас, да? Мы можем сами запустить эту презентацию. Вы можете нам рассказывать.
Алло, здравствуйте еще раз. Слышно меня?
Да, слышно.
Hello. So I'm just a second.
Мы со студии включили, или вы сами хотите?
В принципе, можете оставить тогда со студии, да, так будет тоже удобно.
Да,
So it should be fine if you.
Да, хорошо. Здравствуйте, коллеги.
Dear colleagues, hello. My name is Svetoslav Vitalyevich. I am I work at the our Rosatom overseas, and we develop projects on foreign projects of the Rosatom, and we also develop the low power nuclear plants in Sakhalin Republic. So today we will talk about the nuclear plants of lower power nuclear plant and carbon-free energy force for the integrated development of the territories of the Far East. So it's a very big presentation, a big project. So let me speak about Rosatom. So you can see the figures, and they speak for themselves. So you, the Corporation Rosatom is one of the biggest companies in Russia, and it is one of the successful companies working abroad, and it has a large portfolio of foreign orders. It has lots of big proceeds and operates nuclear plants outside Russia, and it is. And Rosatom also is the company that invests in the science and that develops new scientific trends, and because it's science is the future. And also Rosatom is a socially responsible company. There are more than 250 workers, and there are 50 foreign countries are included in this as well. So we are present in more than 50 countries. So the next slide, please. So let's here we can speak about first of all the theme of our the development of the Arctic and the Arctic territories. So it's a complex development because we all know that the aim of the government, the strategic goals of the Russia is the development of the Arctic zones. The development of the Arctic means that it's not only the mining development and it also means the sustainable development in many levels of it. So it's a very complex region, and it's a far away from the economic centers of the Russian Federation. So we also speak here about key issues of this region. So because of the internal energy sources lacking and the local power supply systems and we speak about the undeveloped objects of the infrastructure, and they require systems of modernization. So in order to solve these problems, we need to have this complex approach, and we need to solve these issues, and this will lead to the development of the social development of these regions. So for this development, Rosatom suggest this complex energetic solution, and it is one of the suitable things, and usually it comes out because of the researchers, and this is about the low power nuclear plants, and there is a huge experience of and Rosatom produced more than 200 nuclear, civil ships, and they are currently in operation. And of course they have to be very safe. The requirements for safe operation are very high. So we need to say that the idea of the complex development of the Arctic is not new, and the idea has already been developing since 2019, and the world's only floating thermal power plant was commissioned in May 2020. And we have this tradition, or let's say tradition and mission to develop the far-sighted regions. And today, Rosatom has a very good And this power plant, this floating ship is actually provides with electricity and food and stuff, the whole region in the Arctic. Today, about the heart of this company. So you see the evolution of the development of and we need to say that an energy solution is are about new and based on the new researched ideas, and this is about the water reactors of the state corporation Rosatom. So there are 6 of them already functioning, and they are called Triton 200. And one of them is and we want to implement them so that we could organize the energy centers for the energy supply of the Arctic region, including the Sahara Republic. So the next slide, please. I would like to say here that first of all, previously I also said that the solution is really working, and we need what we need to have in the Arctic. We need to have we need to have energy sources, and these energy sources are very reliable, and they should be ecologically, environmentally friendly, and these they are very compatible. And here you see the description of the nuclear plant reactor facility. We have already started implementing this project, and it is in the active phase of construction. And at the moment, we are working on the site, and we're searching the site, doing the research on the site, and we are actively working with regional government authorities and local authorities so that we can implement this project timely. And it's very so there are diesel operating energy sources, and they are very costly, and they by implementing our project, we come up with the better condition for the development of the region, and especially for the settlements of this region. So also we spoke about the third thing. So we spoke about the reliability and credibility, and then that nuclear power is essential element of the carbon-free energy balance of the future. And here I would like to say that the nuclear power is the leading position, has the leading position in ecology regarding the environmentally friendly technologies. So here from this slide, you can see that the nuclear power is one of the cleanest, purest, cleanest solutions for the regions, and also the nuclear power is the leading one if you compare with other technologies. So that it's not a secret that we have wind stations and stuff. They usually have periods when they stop, but nuclear plants, they don't. They work without emission of the CO2 in the atmosphere. So in the conclusion, I would like to say that for Yakutsk project and the construction of the nuclear plant that is being built in Yakutia, and for other future projects, we need to have this complex approach, and it will be implemented from this point of view. And in this project, there are a lot of circumstances. So energy independence of the region, reducing electricity tariffs, and its development of the deposits of were not developed because the lack of the energy. And the other one is the clean heat supply, and the other one is saving water resources and creation of new jobs. It actually it creates not only jobs within the station itself, but also we have created a big network of the new jobs. So it is actually very good for the region in a whole. And so also we can speak about the hydrogen, and it's a very contemporary theme, and we are developing the complex approach as well for future. So this is what I have. So if you have questions, I can answer. I'm ready to answer. Thank you very much. Thank you, Svetoslav Alexandrovich. This project it seems that
Очень плохо слышу. Можете повторить, пожалуйста?
Сейчас хорошо?
Да, сейчас хорошо.
Ага, хорошо. Я
so some technical problems. In Yakutia, you know that we have electricity is very costly, and I'm not I'm a humanitarian, but when in a day-to-day life, I of course can feel the expenses that I pay for the electricity and energy, and you know that our salaries are quite high, but unfortunately these should be correlating, but we know that the government subsidizes the tariffs, and it is for the industrial companies is not really a good time, especially in future when they will be cut off from the subsidies. And so that's why everybody understands why we need electricity, and the solution by building these small nuclear power plants is one of the greatest solutions. So the one that we have in Chukotka is working quite well. It is quite reliable, and it's been working for 6 years now, and it was implemented first by the nuclear so now it is actually supplying not only electricity but also heat to the region, and the electricity, the power, and this city Pevek became totally different because of that we have new buildings and we have new cultural center and other facilities of the city. And you know, when we have this kind of nuclear plant in the region, that brings the development for the region as a whole. And we all so the municipalities and government supports really well, and people should be comfortable living in those regions. So what about the seismic situation in the region? So it's a very good question about this seismic situation. We are researching, and we are still researching, and we have done quite a lot of research before up till now, and so that we could implement the results of the research into the main project, so that it is safe to build. And of course, we don't. And of course, we will need to get all the permissions of the controlling body of Russia, and of course, they monitor and you know, and of course this question is of high priority, and we pay it is one of the main questions, and we need to come to so we need to get all the permissions and start building. So, well, is this project connected with the Kurchatov Institute? The Kurchatov Institute wanted to build this kind of in the 1980s, but this is not about this is not connected to that history of the Kurchatov Institute and we worked like 10 and 15 years ago as well. So this project is a new project, and it doesn't, it is not continuing any historical trends or anything. But at the same time, there are a lot of people who are criticizing the project, and those are acquainted with the we can say that Yakutia knows quite a lot about the nuclear stations and stuff, and but for our company, this is the new project, and we haven't built any nuclear plants before, so this is our first project. So what is the situation now? The situation, so we will start working we will launch the station in 2028 according to our plan, and now we are actively working on the research, and we are researching right now. We are researching about, we need to find out a lot about the soil, the ground, and the ground research is being done now. And also we are thinking about the construction of buildings for the workers who would be working on the building of this nuclear station. So, well, good. We will be waiting for the so this is the minimal, this is This is the real plan of building, and this is the main term of building, and it has already been approved, and we will try together with the region to reach this goal, and I think that we will do. I think we will be successful. So we're just working, marching towards our goal. Thank you very much for your presentation, very detailed presentation, and it's very quite for the peoples of Yakutia, it's one of the and there are a lot of questions, and we are ready to answer all the questions, and we get the questions, and of course involvement of the locals and the safety principles on top priorities for us. So we are open for the discussions and to answer all the questions. So I hope that our people heard our discussion, and if you have questions, and it is really wonderful that you are open, and I am very glad to witness this open discussions, and this is very modern and up to date. Thank you very much. The next project, so we have 2 projects left. This is about industry as well. Piotr Vinokurov.
So from the Yakutsk of Polymetal Company. Hello, dear participants of the forum. Can you hear me? Yes.
Презентацию будет.
It will be more convenient if you share your screen with your presentation. Okay. Hello, dear participants of the forum. I will tell you about initiatives and modern approaches of Polymetal to nature protection and environmental issues. Polymetal is one of the leaders of mining precious metals in Russia and Kazakhstan. In Yakutsk, we operate in Tamponsky district and Verkhoyansky districts. The company is in the Dow Jones Index, which speaks for high status for governance and environmental protection. We're among the world's top 16 in sustainable development, and we're based, of course, on sustainable development. We're in top 10 according to Forbes as the top green
республики. Как мы знаем, вот северные экосистемы, они уязвимы, и поэтому, значит, вот воздействие именно горнодобывающей деятельности.
Ecosystems are very vulnerable, and we strive to minimize impact.
Дальше, значит, компания сейчас находится на запуске горнообогатительного.
The company is launching a plant
Значит, золото, добычи.
the
Значит, почему
gold mill. Why we chose Yakutia to implement the projects that I will tell you about? Because in Yakutia there are a lot of waste sites, a lot of landfills and metal waste sites. There are over 400 of such sites, and our dream is to clear the Arctic of the scrap metal that was left from Soviet Union times and later. Our aim is to cut the greenhouse gases emissions. We want to cut it by 30% by 2030. And we also want to cut the use of fresh water. We want to engage as many water recycling as possible because we want to decrease our footprint. We want to use as much waste as possible. We already increased the use of waste, and we plan to increase the share of waste used by 2% in 2023 compared to 2019. And of course, we want to provide safe environment for flora and fauna around our facilities. At one of our sites, we're building a solar power station. We're installing a high voltage line in order to cut our emissions from diesel fuel. And as for fresh water, we use recycled water. We use the same water many times. So now about our waste policies. In order to cut our consumption of construction materials, etc., we also use all this waste in our operations after the appropriate certification, of course. As for wildlife, we have a special program that ensures that ensures well-being of wildlife. We constantly monitor the endangered species population around our facilities. Polymetal projects in Yakutia include such projects as cleaning the territory around the mines from the waste that was accumulated there. We want to give more space to wildlife, and we want to restore the green areas. In 2022, we plan to restore about 2,000 hectares of forest plots, wildlife plots, and we'll spend about 80 million rubles for these activities. For several years, we've been undertaking projects of introducing and reintroducing fish into rivers, because it's a way of compensating the possible damage that we might have caused. We've released over 600,000 fish into rivers, including several locations around the Sakha Republic. such fish as sturgeon, endangered species. Another aspect is environmental volunteering and environmental education. Families of our employees are involved in planting trees around our facilities, but also in we participated in other events organized in the Republic. We try to promote environmental education. We are sponsoring one school in one of the districts, and we are holding different contests for students. And Prognoz site, it's in our plans as for cleaning the metal waste dump, and we are constructing waste cleaning facilities, electric power station, and a modern landfill constructed according to all international requirements. Probably it will be the first fully equipped waste storage facility in the Arctic. We want to clear 12 hectares of wilderness out of to clean it from metal waste. In Verkhoyansky district, we are implementing a system of solar power panels, and this is also our contribution to sustainable energy. Also at Prognoz site, we'll have this high-tech waste storage facility. The waste will be sorted, separately collected, and it will be stored using modern systems of hydro isolation, and it can be stored there safely for decades. At Nizhdanensky site, we already introduced separate waste collection, and we signed contracts with companies to whom we supply these wastes. We accumulate large batches in the site, and then we ship them to the recycling factories. We'll also reconstruct and upgrade the waste storage facility at Nizhdanensky site. As part of our scientific efforts, we want to revive or restore the fish population of several rivers in the Sakha Republic. In Aldan, where we operate, we are planning to reintroduce fish into several rivers. And the waste metal that we gather, we accumulate and then ship to the companies that we have contracts with. That's how we get rid of accumulated hazards. At our production facilities, we use up-to-date technologies. It's not just tail storage facility, but it's a dry storage of filtration cakes. And it all complies with health and safety requirements. We have a corporate contest, awards, and those who won that contest, the company gave $1 million to implement their environmental ideas. There were 4 winners around Russia, and 2 of them are from Yakutia. Again, they won with the project of cleaning the lands from the metal waste accumulated over decades. And we spent around 28 million rubles to implement these projects. And that's about it. I just want to add that we are having a health and safety system, management system corresponding to the highest standards. And it starts at exploration stage and continues throughout the commissioning operation of all our facilities. We try to be very responsible as for nature protection. Thank you. Thank you, Piotr. It is a crucial project for ecology. These accumulated hazards are a big concern for the entire Russia now. So let's hope there will be more projects like yours. Thank you so much. And please also support scientific projects. Thank you. We have one reporter, the last but not the least. We wanted to work for 3 hours, and we worked for 3 hours. So this is Igor Prokopyuk from Rus Geotech. He's been sitting here with me in the studio for all these 3 hours. Please, Igor. Hello.
Dear colleagues, the participation of the in this kind of platforms is quite useful, and we sometimes we just don't see how the world is, how big the world is, and what is happening around, and which I just saw what is happening in the Republic and how it is developing, and it was very interesting. So I would like to thank the organizers of this forum, Vladimir Nikolaevich Vasilyev, the executive director, for inviting me here so that I could present my own So the company, we produce tools for monitoring the permafrost, and we and this forum paid quite a lot of attention to these issues, and we spoke about this during the roundtable and plenary sessions, and which was on Tuesday, and the head of the Republic spoke quite a lot about it, and the representatives of the federal government and authorities, and we understand that a lot of attention is paid to these issues. And one of the tasks that was outlined by the president of Russia, we need to have this monitoring system to implement the monitoring system of the permafrost. And of course, we do have the strategies of the development of the Arctic zones and regions, and in 2000. And Rosgidromet is planning now to implement this system in Russian Federation. So what we suggest here, you see the examples of what leads the degradation to what can happen because of the degradation of the permafrost. And one of the consequences is so I'm not going to speak in detail because this theme is so because I spoke here about the automated systems, and I think I will speak about the technologies first of all, and what we do in order to produce them, and how to use the IT technologies, and how to transform the temperature taken on site to the monitoring sites. So nowadays the systems that are being built are very energy. So you know that MTS is developing such technologies, and other companies are working, and LoRa and NB and WaveIOT, and so they work on different territories, even at the territories where there is no internet. And what are the peculiarities that no wireless systems? So this is, first of all, it is that they can be allocated quite fast, and it is very comfortable and convenient. And there are 300 sites of observing sites in Yakutsk area, and we it's on in the city to do the network of the wires. It is very costly, and so here you don't really need the wires, and that's why you just locate the system, and that's it. That's basically it. And they observe the workers. They actually so if we say that people who are working with the system would just go on their own foot and take the data from the sites and do, of course there will be no time for them to work properly. So and again, and the other thing is that with this system we can cover wide areas, and the number of equipments can be just any number, and some technology can allow us to minimize the energy, and this kind of units can work up to 5 years without any they can be very stable, and they work during winter as well, in the conditions of lower temperatures, and here we know that the territory is of low temperature in winter as well, and last year we saw that it is working when it is in the -60, and the one that is in 2000, the unit that is working that is in the region, in one of the region cities, is quite working quite well, and we can. So it the other thing that so in partnership with other company, we developed a unit that actually transfers the data from the site to the main data collector. So here it's an automated collection of the data. So it can be within. So you can just spend 1 minute, or you can just do it during 1 year. So I mean, you can actually. It depends on the frequency that you want to have, and you can. Like, for example, we collected information once a month, but then we actually had to correct it later. So it actually allows us to do this as well. So this equipment can allows us to visualize the temperature maps and form the report that is needed. And when we developed this system, we understood, and when we knew that this can be it should be effective enough, because effectiveness is the key factor, because otherwise nobody will need them, and this automation has to have the economic effect, and this GEM monitoring. So we calculated economic outcome, and this will be industrial object, and the monitoring will be done every month, and this system will be built within a month, and when we calculated one cycle, we and multiplied by the number of cycles, so we can come up with the economic effect that we came up with a 35% of betterment due to the implementation of the system of this temperature monitoring, and taking in. So we didn't have a lot of orders before, and like, for example, there was before the hazardous situation that took place in Nornickel, companies were not interested in this kind of monitoring. So after this crisis and hazardous situation that appeared in Nornickel, and now companies understand how they need this monitoring system. So they already So these are the companies. So, like for example, the railroad construction companies as well. They use our system as well. And what we discussed here, what do we have here on the territory of the Republic? So the city of Yakutsk is a big city, and 1/3 of the population of the Republic resides here, and the temperature rise, annual temperature rise is quite a vital issue, and the city is interested in safety for the population, and of course it is not only about the industrial object, but also about the housing. And during the round table in the frameworks of the forum, we discussed the realization of our development. We can't implement without automated collection of the data. I think that you have my contacts, and the organizers have the contacts, and I think that we can work together in future. So we speak about technologies quite a lot, and they should help us in all the tasks that we take on us. And monitoring is one of the issues that really vital for Permafrost Institute and for climatologists and for the permafrost researchers. And of course, the data collection is vital, and of course it will lead to more efficient work. We wish you success, and of course, as the forum, we join you, and during the days of the forum, we have learned quite a lot about the climate and the permafrost, and so we have the concept of uniting Asia and the Arctic, and on the platforms of all the platforms spoke about the climate change and permafrost, basically, and it is quite wonderful to know that the main task was done, and was achieved, and the goal was achieved. And of course, one of our tasks is the safe exploitation of the infrastructure, and the infrastructure that has been built on the permafrost is quite so that the infrastructure actually gets affected by the permafrost melting quite a lot, and the preventive work is by monitoring is much easier than just facing the problems that occur without monitoring. So we are ready to work. Thank you very much, Igor. So we finish. So thank you, Igor, for being together and for this session. And it is not really a conference. We spoke about real projects, and like during conference, usually people report what they did, but here we spoke about future projects, and this is like, and during conferences, usually you can't see, you can't hear about the plans. But this session is the session that looks into the future. So I think that we will continue this kind of platform, and we'll invite you for collaboration, and please, you can become our business partner, and we have the bank of partners here, and one of the main goal is to popularization of the interregional and international collaboration. Thank you very much. See you in future. And this is one of the latest activities of the forum. Even though we are continuing to work, we will continue to work tomorrow. And we will be working together with the German company that built station in Tixi. And there is another project with children. And we just learned that Yakutsk banned all the activities, and we had quite a lot of guests, and